So we have 10 ships right now that are stuck in the upper Gulf and can't get out. And we have numerous ships in the tens of ships that are on their way to the region and for which we have had to have contingencies about where they're going to drop the cargo. They're not going to wait for the strait to reopen. We will stage the cargo either in Oman or in Jeddah or in other places, in ports where we have access. And then the ship will go on their way to their next assignment from there.
It's the Strait of Hormuz, so you're not going into that waterway. Are there any other areas that you're avoiding at the moment?
So for us, the Bab el Mandeb Strait between the Arabian Sea and the Red Sea is also closed as a precaution because you will remember that for the last 2 years, we have been subject to attack by Houthi militias in Yemen, which are a proxy of Iran. And we feel that as much as the war so far has been focused on the Upper Gulf, there is a risk that the proxies are being mobilized and start to take international shipping again as a target. And therefore, we have decided to reverse the reopening of the Red Sea and continue to sail the long way around Africa.
Now, this would be bad enough if it was just for goods and containers for the region. But Jebel Ali and other ports there, which are massive transshipment depots, the stuff comes in, it's parceled out, and then it goes on to other destinations. That sort of is the ripples and makes it much worse.
It's true. I mean, some of the hubs on which global trade does rely on are actually being affected, are being closed by the situation right now. It's true from Jebel Ali, it's true for Abu Dhabi, it's true for a few of those hubs, and this is going to create ripple effect, I think, for a while as we need to see how this is going to sort itself out. In the short run, we can manage this, but if this was to endure, this would create, I think, serious congestions and serious issues across the global supply chain.
The idea of either the US government or any government providing war insurance or some form of insurance and guarantees, or indeed escorting your vessels through the strait. I've heard that that's a bit of a non-starter. What do you say?
Yeah, I think the most important thing to start with is to say that we have colleagues on board those ships, and we will never take a solution where it's just because we have insurance, but we put them in harm's way, we're going to find that the solution is okay. We're only going to act if we feel that the safety of our crew, the safety of our assets, the safety of our customers' cargo can be guaranteed by the solution that has been put in place. Whether it's a negotiated solution or whether it's a military solution, there are political authorities that need to decide what is the quickest and best way to reopen the strait. But for us, safety remains our primary concern, and ensuring the safety of our operation, that is not something that we're going to trade on.
What do you make of the Chinese calling you and MSC in to basically complain about higher surcharges or premia because of extra costs? Freight charges are going up, and now the Chinese are piling on with their complaints to you. What have you told them?
I think it's important to understand that a lot of the flow of oil that comes out of the Gulf actually is serving the needs of the Arabian Peninsula, but also of Asia. And therefore, this energy crisis could have significant consequences on Asian economies. And it's only natural for the Chinese government to be concerned about how this is shaping and to have dialogue with some of the strategic partners that serve China on other segments. We don't do tankers, but on other segments, and want to engage on how is the picture evolving, how are we going to deal with some of that. They do understand that the significant cost increases we are faced with right now as a result of the situation, we cannot shoulder by ourselves, but they also want to make sure that there is fairness in the way that we deal with them, which I think is a fair concern. And we're in constant dialogue with the Chinese government on multiple issues. And this is just one that is quite high on the agenda right now.
I mean, Maersk, giant, you're well used to crises. This is, you faced everything at some point as a shipping company. But this is on a scale that's almost impossible to manage. So what do you make of it?
I mean, we are clearly in uncharted territory. I think the main concern we have more or less resolved today, the safety of our crews for the time being, to the best of our ability. We have solved for the cargo flows to the best of our ability. I think the big problem that we have to solve now is, with the strait being closed, there is enough oil in the world, but there is not enough oil everywhere in the world. There is dislocations in the market where some areas have plenty of fuel and other areas could face shortages. And we need to be proactive in moving fuel around so that when we come to ports, we actually have the fuel that we need to keep on powering our network on. And that is something that is completely new. So I think for me, the only parallel that there is COVID, where something we hadn't tried before either, where we need to really familiarize ourselves with completely new areas, such in this case, moving fuel around the globe so that we have the right amount in the right time at the right price.